Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pro-Am category for, and I'm, well, good evening, it's Alex Goldschmidt here. This last minute shoe-in, courtesy of our good friends, our very good, illustrious colleagues, Steve Proudly at Simsport Racing. Welcome to the opening round of the Pro-Am lobby for the Virtual Touring Car Championship, brought to you in association with gobobby.co.uk. Opening round of the season, we are in Leicestershire at the fantastic Donington Park National Circuit, and in duration it is 1.957 miles. We've got three races. We've got qualifying to get underway with very, very soon indeed. It's going to be an interesting one because effectively everyone goes into the opening round of the season, just like in the British Touring Car Championship, with no ballast. And that will provide us with a full on, flat out race for the first of three races here tonight, this evening. So your guess is as good as mine. Who is going to be leading the way in the Pro-Am lobby this very day, this very evening? I have to give a shout out to our good friends Steve Proudly, who's manning the broadcast cameras on the Pro lobby with Chris Buxton, aka King Kodiak, and Aaron Martin Pilkington as the commentary duo in that particular broadcast, which is currently also underway as we speak. But Donington Park, steeped in history, world renowned. It's I managed back in the early 2010s to have the opportunity of going to the fantastic Donington Museum. No longer there, unfortunately, mandated by the Wheatcroft family. The Wheatcrofts very instrumental in bringing back Donington Park to its current status as one of the most loved circuits around the United Kingdom. It hosts the British Touring Car Championship. It also hosts British GT, amongst other things. And to be honest with you, it's a track that really is a touring car nirvana. And I don't think we could have it any other way. But we have got plenty of action. And alongside me, Adam Bent is on broadcast duties this evening. Good evening, Adam. How are you?
Good evening. I'm well, thank you, mate. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. This is what you get for being thrown in out of the frying pan and into the fire on the
Absolutely.
on the first side of things. But it looks like we've got a really really good grid. We've got plenty of different cars that are going to be
Absolutely.
provided for us this evening. A whole host of different talent. What are your first thoughts? You know, having Donington as the season opener.
Donington is a great track. I've been there twice. I want to say twice. I think it's twice. And both times just absolutely loved it. It's an amazing track. Very fast track. Um, but no, I think what better place to start it than a haven for speed and great racing.
Yep. So the format for tonight, effectively, we are going to have. Um, Qualifying, we're going to have three races. The race three will be a live reverse grid draw. And that, as always, in touring cars, Adam, really does spice up the
It
ante, doesn't it?
absolutely does. I mean, you look at the history of touring cars and how unpredictable they are in the first place, and then you throw something in like a reverse grid with a random pole sitter from I think it's the top 12, top 8. It just throws everything out of proportion because all of a sudden the guy that maybe finished 12th is now starting on pole, and really even on pace, even if they are similar on pace, it just throws absolutely everybody into chaos, and it's great fun to watch.
Yeah, so over the course of the next few weeks, obviously the opening round is here at Donington Park. Then it's Tor Poznan on the 26th of September. In just a couple of weeks' time, then the famed Norsring by the banks of the Dutzendteich. Pretty much a home track for, if it was DTM, it'd be Marco Wittmann, two-time DTM champion. Then Silverstone, the 24th of October. Okayama in Japan, well known through its World Touring Car Championship hostings in years past. And then, of course, the Garden of England, Brands Hatch, hosts the season finale on the 21st of November. So effectively, from my perspective here, it's going to be rather interesting the variety of different circuits that we do have here, more than anything. That is going to really test the drivers. It's going to give them all an equal opportunity on trying to get one up on the rest of the opposition. We've got quite a lot of drivers going into this, and realistically, from this perspective, Adam, you would say that the first round's always the taster, the aperitif. But then when we throw success ballast into it, the drivers are going to have to work with tyre management and quite a lot of other things as well. It really does pay to showcase how much of an interesting championship this will be.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the first proper season we've run on Assetto Corsa, obviously since the merger with Simsport Racing with the VRCC, being folded into from what I've experienced, is a very good organisation. Obviously, the series has been run. I think we're on the fourth season now. Yeah, we are on season 4 with all the previous seasons being run on Project Cars 2. So this is completely new for every returning driver, every new driver. This is a completely level playing field. Nobody has any advantage here. It's everybody's had to do the testing. Everybody's had to figure out their cars and work their way forward.
Yeah, we've got a whole host of different cars tonight. We've got Audis. We've even we've even got. I'm going to say the number 30 Toyota is definitely the Tingram tribute band, because it's even got ginsters on the side of it.
Absolutely.
It's so we've got Audi, Alfa Romeo. We've got the Ford Focus. We've got the Honda Civic as well, and the Toyota, amongst other things. We've even got the old BMW 125i M Sport along for good measure. And to have such a really, really good mix and mash between these drivers. Qualifying is currently underway. It's about 16 minutes and 15 seconds through, well, still to go at the moment. And Tezra's Kapatkar in the Alfa Romeo Giulietta is currently leading the way on a 1 minute 9.802. That's just over a tenth quicker than Mark Holmes and the Toyota Avensis. Nathan Birch in the Audi RS3 rounds out the top 3. Then it's Stu Neal, Steve Hilton, and it's about less than a second between the top 5. It seems like Jacob Douglas has had a bit of a coming together with the local surroundings here at Donington Park, but it's tight, it's technical. There's fast-flowing sections. I mean, the chicane at Roberts that brings them back onto the Wheatcroft Straight, that is going to really showcase true tin top racing at its level best here tonight. And good to see Nathan Birch actually running in the Mark Blundell car livery from Trade Price Cars. I remember Mark Blundell back in 2019 taking a one-season dip alongside Jake Hill in that car. And good to see that car as part of the grid.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got a great array of the I believe it's the NGTC series of cars. You know, we've got the Alpha, which was really, I believe, wasn't very competitive in its one season it ran in the British Touring Cars, but because of the beauty of video games, all of a sudden it becomes a much faster car. But we've got such a great array of cars, as you can see by the timing screen, such a different variety as well. Obviously, from the Japanese cars to the American imports to the Germans, it's just such a great grid to see. And the liveries all being designed by the drivers themselves.
Yeah, Lucian Zemiferescu has got Pringles on the side of the Audi and is going up through into McLean's through Coppice. A bit of a deceptive double right at the top of the crest when they've gone through Starkey's Bridge and Schwantz Curve. 14 minutes to go in qualifying, and he's still kept within the Stellantis branding, has Ranjiv Kalsi. Normally in GT3 on Assetto Corsa Competizione, he will run with a Ferrari, but now he's turned to being an Alpha Works driver. That's probably what he's going to say if we ever get a chance to speak to him.
Well, there we go. There's I think there was a lot of talk about how there was no Ferrari for him to pick in the pre-season, and he's obviously settled with the best thing he can get, which is an Alfa Romeo, obviously all owned by Fiat brand still, so it's close enough.
Bezos Kapatkar loving the fact that he's rocking a sort of a 1990s mid-1990s Gabriele Tarquini 155 livery there. Ranjiv Kalsi has gone a bit different. Looks like someone's gone with the Rob Austin motorsport colours as well, with the duo livery on there, but Ranjiv Kalsi making his way through Roberts. So 13 minutes of the session left to go. And at the minute, Kapatka leads the way, but not by much, by just 0.2 of a second. Ranjiv Kalsi fastest in sector number 3 and looking to push the envelope. In the meantime, Kapatka has pulled it into the pits. We've also got, there's Mark Holmes in the Toyota Avensis, the number 46, currently P8 at the moment. Matt Webb looks to be rejoining the fray. Well, he's in the pits at the moment as one of the... Looks like Kapatka might be out. There's Justin Welby-Love, who's rocking the Tingram, the Tingram Ginsters
absolutely
tribute band.
It's a very
Tim
nice
Harvey's
livery,
waiting
that.
on standby to get... It is very nice. I love the fact that Stu Neal's rocking the old Honda Racing USA liveries that actually was sported on the Civic Tourers that ran in the British Touring Cars for just one particular season.
Absolutely, I think it was probably pretty easy for him to pick a car. Obviously, I believe Matt Neal's car, if I'm not mistaken. So all he had to do was really change the one initial, and all of a sudden it's his car now. So yeah, it's really good to see.
Good to see some people getting involved on the YouTube chat. Good evening to Sebastian de Tolanera. Good to have you with us, amongst other people as well. So who are you rooting for tonight? Stu Neal goes P7 in the Honda Civic, fastest third sector, and puts it in P7 ahead of Trev Hummer in the Toyota Avensis. Chris Fisher and Justin Welby-Love rounds out the top 10. Chris Callahan fractionally outside of the top 10 by 41 thousandths of a second. So trying to get below the 1 minute 10.1 second bracket. But at the moment, good to see Martin de Galler and Martin Gravel. That's 3 Alfa Romeos and a BMW rounding out the top 4. Looks like Pollock has gone exit stage left. That was probably going through red gates. And
oh, that's a bit wide.
You can just... That was rally crossing. That was definitely rally crossing from Madame Grohl there. We're about halfway through the session, but Kapatka has, well, looking at it from this way, Ranjiv Kalsi's had an off. Whoops, into the barriers goes the Alpha. That front end's going to need a bit of rearranging there, and he escapes straight to the pits. Mark Holmes in the Avensis has picked up the pace, and looking at it from this way, Adam, the top 8, rounded out by Trev Hummer, have all gotten into the 1 minute 9s with Chris Fisher half a second.
He's just joined them, I believe. 0.1 second behind Trev. So that's all. Obviously, the times will tumble as the track gets faster. Seems to have been some sort of an issue there. Nope, we're not going to find it. Is Mr. Webb somewhere on the track? He is. I can't quite tell where that was. But Matt Webb rocking the only car with no livery altogether.
He's just gone Knight Rider style on that one. He's just gone matte black on that one. Brendan Van Eyden goes, go Chris Callahan. So the cheers are coming in. Don't forget, if you are officially watching on the Pro-Am split here on Simsport Racing, good to see that 5 of you have already liked this video already. Really do appreciate it. There are going to be team and driver championships. We're running on Assetto Corsa, not Assetto Corsa Competizione, like most people will probably recognise my voice from with Simsport Racing, the Sim Grid, amongst other championships. But the good thing is that Chris Callahan is trying to push his way into the top 10. Bit of luminescence on the roof there, I spot.
Absolutely, it's very.
He's about to. Let's see, Adam, if we can go on a hot lap with him as he goes through into Redgate and
we've got no
into
audio.
Hollywood. So,
do apologise about that. Unfortunately the mod does have a bug. So if you can't hear audio, it is a small bug that this mod has. We sometimes do it's small amount of interference. I do apologise for this.
Oh, don't worry.
I don't think there's anything I can actually do about it. Yeah.
No. Chris Callahan now making his way through the old hairpin, up Starkeys, up into Schruntz Curve. Then it's hard on the brakes, down into third, 120 kph through McLean's, and accelerating up through in towards Coppice, 5th gear, 170, down a couple of gears into third, run the car wide, and he's gone tight on the apex and actually short shifted there into 4th, now up into 5th. Sometimes I've done it before where you can nigh on straight line Roberts, but he's pushing over 200 kph in sixth gear, hard on the brakes, down into what is third at 100 kph. That's 62 miles an hour, out on the power, across the line. What's his time going to be? It is a 1 minute 10.924. And he's still got a bit of time to find. That was effectively the best part of 0.8 of a second off of his best lap of 1 minute 10.177. But Tejas Kapatka has still got provisional pole position with 7.5 minutes to go. And we've got 22 cars on the road, well, in the server at the moment. I think we did have a quick issue with Stefan de Groot, who disconnected from the server but has rejoined, currently P13. There's Alex Riley in the number 9 Audi, running in 18th place. So a bit of time for him to find over the course of this session, but it's fast running out here, Adam, and we know that qualifying can sometimes really help, especially when you've got one race where it's completely ballast free, so you can cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war. But then getting into race 2 and race 3, it gets turned upside down on its head like a sand timer.
Yeah, absolutely. You're completely right there. Obviously, race 1 will be, no holes barred. Everybody is on an equal playing field in a sense. Obviously, watch the BMW off the line. That rear-wheel drive is just absolutely unparalleled off the line. But obviously, each car has their strength. I believe the Alfa has the top end of Toyota, or the Alfa have the top end. The Ford seems to be really quick through the corners, and the Audi is just the best overall car. But obviously, every driver's tested and perfected their techniques when driving these cars, and all being well, we'll see a great array of battling.
So, just for those watching at home, what is the point system and how are things going to evolve across the championship? Well, it's the same as what you find in the British Touring cars. So 20 for a win, 17 for second, 15 for third, 13 for fourth, 11 for fifth, and then it's 10 all the way down to 1, all the way through to 15th position. And it's only the drivers that run past the 15-minute mark, so they're 20-minute races, they will be eligible to score points. Drivers retiring before this time will score nothing. There is one additional point awarded for the fastest lap in each race, and also there'll be a person getting straight off the scoring board with an additional point for pole position in race 1. There's 18 races in the season. The best 15 scores will be counted towards the championship standings. All other points will be dropped. So it's 3 20-minute races after a 20-minute qualifying session. So effectively, drivers qualify on merit, and race 1 will be fastest from the front sort of contest. For race 2, there will be success ballast added to the top 10 finishers from race 1. Race 3, so that will be for race 2. Race 3, again, the same thing applies, but then you have you partially reverse the starting grid, positions 6 to 10. And then effectively, for race 1 for every single evening, here on the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup, brought to you in association with gobobby.co.uk, we'll have a flat-out sprint, and then it's all about strategy for the 2 races every single evening thereafter. So we're into the last 4 minutes of qualifying. Jacob Douglas with that very, very bright magenta stroke purple Ford Focus, the 751, stuck on the grass on the pit lane exit, and he's currently in 18th. Oh, he decides better not to rejoin right into the firing line. Kicks up the gravel as he goes back onto the track. There's Chris Fisher, currently on an outlap at the moment. So Kapatka still on provisional pole. But what's more, Angiv Kelsey has got to within 44 thousandths of a second. And interesting though, Adam, Kelsey has only done 8 laps of qualifying. Kapatka has done 10.
I think, obviously, when you look at the laps, I feel that's a little unrepresentative because as you drive, obviously, yeah, the more laps you get, the faster you should get, in theory, but at the same time, off the blocks, you can't obviously see what's happening every lap, and obviously, like, just in the background there, you go slightly wide, you lose a tenth, you meet a back marker, that's another tenth, and that's the thing, obviously, every clean lap will have two or three dirty laps alongside of it. So to be, obviously, Pat Carr's done a lot of testing to be where he is, and I think even qualifying, I think he should still hold out just enough to take the pole position.
Indeed. So into the last 3 minutes, Chris Fisher, currently P7 in the Toyota Avensis, flies through, sweeps into Redgate in the 87. There's Steve Hilton, now up into P12. He's actually done a personal best in Sector 1, up by 3/10 on his previous. Trev Hummer's gone fastest of anybody in Sector 2. As the 404 crosses the line, goes up into 5th position. That is a great lap of 1 minute 9.464. But can anyone depose Tejas Kapatkar from pole position in Pro-Am for the opening round of the season? Well, if Ranjiv Kalsi can do anything about it, because he's currently out on the circuit at the moment. Nathan Birch is the leading Audi all the way up in P3 with a 1 minute 9.268. So 66 separate the top three in the battle for pole position. And at the moment, Adam Bent has yet to set a lap time here. Which is yourself, because obviously you're broadcasting.
Yeah.
You see, that's what happens with timing. You look at it and it's like, bit of an awkward moment.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the mod will restrict me to the pit, so I can't actually fly myself out there. Even though my wheel is set up, I could drop a gear and probably try and pull out, but obviously it will throw me back in. Qualifying, unfortunately, doesn't disappear, but for the race, I hopefully won't be classified. Might be very confusing for the standings. So, but no, it's different. This is the first season we've done of touring cars with VRC, Simsport, anyone on a set of Corsa. Obviously, previously doing MX-5s and DTM with the VRCC before the merger. But no, obviously this guy here, Trev Hummer, is technically the defending Pro-Am champion for the VTCC. So obviously he's got a lot to prove, as Chris Fisher seems to be going purple in every sector so far.
Yeah, he's gone purple in Sector 1. He's up by, he's up by 2/10. And Kapatkar's also improved. He's gone purple in Sector 2, and he's extended the gap to just over 0.23 of a second. Fisher's up in the middle sector on personal best as he comes through Roberts.
That's not it. That's not it. That's the lap deleted. That'll be the lap deleted.
Oh, invalidated lap for Chris Fisher. Oh my goodness, that could have actually would have, if he hadn't gone off track and that was a bit smoother, he could have probably gotten up into the top 5.
That was definitely,
with that effort.
That was definitely looking like a front row, but that's really unfortunate for him.
So we're into the final throws of qualifying. 6 seconds on the clock remain, and Kapatkar is leading the way. Alistair Pollock in 16th place. Checkered flag is out. Mark Holmes takes 4th ahead of Martin Tagala, who rounds out the top 5. Madan Greville in 7th. Justin Wellbeloved in the Ginsters Tribute Band, 12th. Trev Hummer still out on circuit. He's down in Sector 1, but Nathan Birch has gone purple in Sector 2 by 32 thousandths. This could be close. Wait for it.
It's going to be very close
indeed.
Maybe. Just not enough.
Lost a lot of time. Lost a lot of time in the final sector coming through Roberts. Stu Neal up in Sector 1, a personal best, nearly 2.5 tenths of a second, and invalidated.
That's unfortunate for him.
I know. It's but it looks like qualifying is coming to a close. All the cars look to be in the pit lane, but Ranjiv Kalsi, hang on a second.
I was going to say, just to clarify, this is another small error as such with the server. Don't worry. It should show you.
Yeah. So looks like Tejas Kapatkar has taken the top time in qualifying for the opening round of the season here at Donington Park. Not too sure if we might be able to get Tejas in for an interview, but he took pole position in the opening race of the season. A fantastic calendar set to be set in stone over the coming few weeks. And it's just really, really good to see how ultra competitive it was. It was so close between Kopatka and Kelsey for pole position there, Adam. And effectively, it's really given an opportunity. But let's see if we can get Tejas Kopatka in for an interview. It would be good to have a chat and try and see if we can. I don't know if I might not be able to do that myself personally because literally I've been thrown to the wolf pack, so to speak, by Steve Proudley. Thank you, mate. But it's all good. We're all friends here in the Simsport racing community, with with you guys jumping on board with us. But the qualifying session was really, really close, and I think the first race is going to give us, as I said earlier, a real good idea of what's going to happen and how these drivers are going to sort of get on with things. One of the biggest things that I saw in qualifying there, Adam, was that the air temperature was 19 degrees, track temperature 31. So tyre conservation is going to be a key point, even though it's 20 minutes per race.
It will still be, especially for the front-wheel drive cars. I think they'll chew up the tyres a lot going through the faster turns. The BMW shouldn't really cook its tyres as much. But that's one thing you've got to watch is the BMW on through the corners seems to have obviously that rear-wheel drive advantage of just being able to turn in and hold the line as such without worrying about ending up in the gravel traps on the outside of the corners. As the server's now been thrown up, it has indeed. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers counteract their each different weakness to the car as well as the strengths.
Yeah, there are always strengths and weaknesses to any sort of situation that the drivers might find themselves in over the course of the 3 20-minute races this evening. And I have been keeping my eye on the YouTube chat here on Simsport Racing. A big thank you to the 763 subscribers we have so far, as everyone is starting to ready up onto the grid for the first of 3 races here at the Donington Park National Circuit. And it is going to be Kopatka on pole. Kelsey will be alongside Nathan Birch, the highest placed Audi in the Trade Price Cars. Mark Blundell livery will be on row number 2. And we'll have Mark Holmes alongside Martin Dagala will be rounding out the top 5. We are waiting for Ranjiv Kelsey to ready up and join the grid as the server is now loading. So there is Tejas Kopatka in the number 12 Alfa Romeo Giulietta. And also used by Romeo Ferraris. There's Ranjiv Kelsey in second place in the number 47 Giulietta. Then row 2, it is Nathan Birch in the TPC Racing Audi RS3. The Mark Blundell tribute band, and he's even put Blundell on the rear windows there as well. That's a great little bit of tribute to him. There's Mark Holmes, who starts alongside in the highest place Toyota Avensis in the number 46. And then row 3 of the grid, it's going to be Martin Dagala rocking the Rob Austin tribute band livery. And alongside him will be Trev Hummer in the 404, the defending champion, who has got a point to prove. Then we've got Chris Fisher in the next Toyota Avensis, also in the same team as Mark Holmes.
There we go. We've had Grohl just suddenly jump in. We do sometimes get this.
That's the thing. Yeah, they need to ready up a bit quicker, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, they do.
Like, hey, come on, guys! Work with us here. Work with us. We've got a schedule to keep to. Madan Grewal in the BMW 125 M Sport. Then it is going to be Chris Fisher in the 87 Toyota Avensis. Stu Neal in the Honda Civic Type R FK2, the number 44. And then it's Steve Hilton rounding out the top 10 in the 84 Audi RS3. Chris Callahan in one of 3 Ford Focuses on the grid, the number 49 lines up on the inside of row 6. Justin Wellbeloved in the Toyota Avensis in the number 30. The Tingram Ginsters Hansford Sensors tribute band rounds out row 6. Jari van Binsberg in the Alfa Romeo Giulietta starts on the inside of row 7 and has fellow countryman, Stefan de Groot, alongside Lucien Zamifrescu in the Audi RS3. In 15th, Alistair Pollock in the Ford Focus in the outside of row 8. Sybren Stoll in the Audi RS3. We'll have Jacob Douglas in the Ford Focus alongside in the 751. Alex Riley and Matt Webb complete the top 20 in the respective Audi RS3s. And then it's Lorenzo Molnar rounding out the 21-strong grid. 20 minutes on the clock here. And when the lights go out, we will be racing for the first of 3 races here tonight on the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup Pro-Am category, brought to you in association with gobobby.co.uk. And a big shout out to our good friends at Gridfinder, who we are one of their partner leagues as well here at Simsport Racing, and know that they do a lot of hard work behind the scenes to get things going. So your first thoughts coming into this race, Adam? Everyone's on no ballast. Everyone's going to be gung-ho into Redgate. It's going to be an interesting one, isn't it?
It is indeed, as the lights are about to come on. I think watch the 3 in the top 6, Trev, Nathan and Mark, all previous VTCC racers and a couple of them winners. As the lights come on.
Yep, here we go. Lights are out, we're off and away, and it is a good start by Kapatkar. But what a start there by Holmes, who gets around the outside of Ranjiv Kelsey. But Birch gets a good run into Redgate for the first time, and it looks like Dergala's also got a good start as well. He's up into P3 as they all filter their way through Redgate for the first time. Oh, someone's gone very, very wide, and that could be the 84 car. That looks to possibly be Steve. Yeah, Steve Hilton's dropped down the order.
As the teammates collide.
Oh, that's not what you want here. Come on. I mean, one of the biggest rules in racing is never take out your teammate. They're all scrabbling for traction coming out of the old hairpin, up the hill through Starkey's Bridge and Strunks Curve for the first time. Oh, there's contact between Degala and Kelsey. They're both off into the gravel. Degala gets a massive tank slapper, courtesy of Ranjiv Kelsey. Both in Alfa Romeos, and in the words of the Italians, Mamma Mia, very much appropriate, as Nathan Birch now closes in on the leading Alfa Romeo Giulietta of TS Kapatkar in the number 12 Gabriele Tarquini tribute band, as they make their way through into Roberts for the first time of Asking and Hummer, looking up the inside of Greville, going into the chicane, and they're nearly coming to blows, and Greville goes over the sausage curves. That's going to allow Hummer to switch to the left-hand side. And Holmes is right there with them. Holmes is right in the toe. Could he make it 3 abreast? Birch round the outside of Kapatkar, through into Redgate, and he's got the lead, and Hummer's up into P3.
What a move by the pair of them. The 2 VTCC regulars absolutely dominating the start and showing just why they drive so hard. And the Pro-Am seems to be setting a pretty good example. There's a couple small incidents, which is to be expected. But absolutely brilliant racing so far.
Wow, that is how you start a season, ladies and gentlemen. Stefan de Groot battling away with Stu Neal, and this is heading up into Schwanz Curve. Now into the right-hander here at McLean's, and de Groot round the outside. Bit of a lock-up from a little bit further up the field. Looks to be that Chris Fisher is having a bit of a ding-dong battle. And there goes Holmes round the outside through the second part of Coppice on Greville. That was greatly done by Holmes and the 46 Toyota Offensives. And Fisher and Well-Love are now closing in on Greville. Chris Callahan closing on Frescu. And up through the inside into the chicane through Roberts. Oh, there's a little bit of touching between the... Oh, that just goes to show how much door rubbing happens here. And one of the biggest things is Ranjiv Kelsey finds himself down as de Groot up the inside of Well Beloved. That is for 8th place. There are contact patches happening all over the place here. And we're only into lap number 3 of the race as Stu Neal runs a little bit wide. That's going through the craners. You don't want to rejoin like that. Oh, he got
very, very
lucky.
There was
a lock-up, looks to be from Holmes. And Stu Neal goes off at the old hairpin. What a... If this is the first race, wait for races 2 and 3, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some real ding-dong battles on our hands. And in the words of David Addison's, everyone's patched up, revved up, ready to go. And it's going to be more than patching up. I think there's going to be quite a few surgical grafts for panels that have been patched here this evening. Ranjiv Kelsey making his way back up into 14th past Neil. He's gone past Stoll in the meantime, and he's looking to go past Van Binsberg, and this is going to be close. The Alfa Romeos side by side down Starkey Straight into Roberts. Kelsey will have the inside line, and he's gotten up into 12th place.
Brilliant racing from the start. Honestly, I'm lost for words. Once again, proving just how great touring car racing is, especially on British circuits such as these. Just promotes this great door-to-door action.
And it's still not over and done with yet, as Stefan de Groot is battling away with Marun Grewal, and they have a little bit of door rubbing. That was going through the bottom part of the Craner curves and into the old hairpin. Up the hill once again, and Justin Wellbeloved is starting to canter away from the two behind, and has got a gap of over 0.8 of a second on the BMW in 7th position. So it's Birch leading from Kapatkar by just 0.2. Hummer in 3rd. Then you've got Mark Holmes, and Kapatkar's gone purple in sector 2. He's closing on the Audi into Roberts, looks to switch to the inside. Can't get through. Birch shuts the door firmly in the Alfa Romeo's front bumper vicinity right there. But the good thing is that Kapatkar's gone. Ranjiv Kelsey is on a pure binge of speed. The Alfa Romeo down in 12th position. The 47 has gone purple in sector 1, purple in sector 2. Looks like he could set the fastest lap of the race. Let's see what it is.
It is indeed.
And it's a 1 minute 9.4. That is incredible from Ranjiv Kelsey. He sets the fastest lap of the race. And that is on lap number 4. We're on lap 5. 14 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Kelsey is closing in on Chris Callahan as they go down the dip through the Craner curves, having exited Hollywood. And Zami Firescu is just up ahead. Kelsey's he's looking rather racy here, despite that difficult first start where he tumbled down to around 17th, 18th position. Ranjiv Kelsey looks to be rather racy. Now he's looking up the inside of Chris Callahan. He's got the move done. That's greatly done through McLean's.
Very clean.
That was brilliant there, Adam, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and brilliantly clean. A lot of respect from both drivers there to give each other the space to keep going. And now Kelsey's just lasered onto the next target, honestly.
Yeah, and there's been a bit of an incident between Jari van Binsbergen and Stu Neal. That's about it for 14th and 15th. Stu Neal a bit further up the road and is closing on the Robosson tribute band, known as Martin Dergala, as Madan Grewal has set the fastest second sector of the race of anybody. Nathan Birch now pulling away to the tune of about 0.6 of a second. Bit of a lock-up there. That might have been possibly Callahan or Dergala. Pollock has been passed by Zami Firescu. And the Romanian now making his way. Brilliant to see some very, very bright liveries. And also, it seems like Sami Firescu has got a penchant for Pringles.
Absolutely, I think that seems to be the case. Both drivers have slightly modelled their liveries, just with that slightly different advertisement. But here we go. Another move, I think.
Kelsey's in the top 10. Gets up the inside of Alistair Pollock.
Oh, Grewal.
Nicely done. It seems like... Grewal has tumbled, and that was through Coppice. The BMW must have lost the back end. As Kelsey... Kelsey! Back end steps out, and he's in the barriers. In the barriers goes Ranjiv Kelsey. All that hard work has just been undone. And there goes Martin Dergala, who he tangled with earlier. Sweeps around the outside of the exit
seems to be looking like he's going to make the move. Side by side by the looks of it. You think he's going to get the job done before turn 1. I believe Redgate, if I'm not mistaken, into Redgate, and yeah, move's done. But no, Kelsey says no, and he's going to have the place back.
He said, "You got to do better than that, Stu Neal. If you want to get past me, I don't care if you've got a surname that reminisces of Matt Neal himself." But yeah, Ranjiv Kelsey back up into 12th place, but runs wide coming through the old hairpin. Mark Holmes, in the meantime, has been motoring on. And he's closing in on Trev Hummer in the 404. So it's Toyota v Toyota for the final step on the virtual rostrum here in the opening race of the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup, brought to you in association with GoBobby.co.uk. 11 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. And Nathan Birch has got a comfortable gap of around 0.8 of a second ahead of pole sitter Tejas Kapatkar. So Kapatka. Oh, and Alistair Pollock has, well, that was
like
a
a
Jackson
spin.
Pollock manoeuvre there, I'm afraid. Yeah, that was
There we go, Stu Neal's now trying to take advantage of this. Same position again, Stu Neal just... He's done him this time, he's done the move this time, but can he hold it? No. Oh, it's going to be contact if they're not careful. They are going to collide.
There's been some paint exchange right there and then. We can't virtually see it here. But mamma mia, mercy, mercy me, side by side through the craners. Kelsey will have the inside line through for the old hairpin. Dive bombs, breaks late, smoke billowing from the rear, runs wide, but manages to keep it through Starkey's Bridge and up to Schwantz Curve.
Pollock wants to have a go now as well.
Pollock is coming back at them. Pollock's done a really good job. Stu Neal trying to go up the inside through McLean's. On Ranjiv Kelsey is a little bit further ahead. Chris Callahan and Martin Dergala battling through Coppice. That's for 9th position.
Oh, there's a move.
As Kapatka has now got past. He's got the lead on lap number 9. So Kapatka now has to... he's nearly going to relinquish that. And he came across the front of Nathan Birch. Kapatka runs wide, coming out of Red Gate. Oh, there's a little bit of a touch between the pair. Oh my goodness. This is, has anyone got the defib on standby? And this is for me in the virtual commentary box from my side. But Nathan Birch is taking a bit more gung-ho to track limits there. Ranjiv Kelsey actually cut the track on lap 7 according to the live timing. And Ranjiv Kelsey has got 30 damage on the front of his car after that tangle with the barriers when he hit the brakes and it snapped out to the left-hand side. Coming through Coppice, leaders nearly side by side, and Birch is in the tow of Kapatka. Over the hump they go, down the Starkey Straight, and Kapatka keeps the lead going into Roberts. Good battling between these two here, Adam.
Absolutely, the straight line speed of the Alpha just seems to be enough to hold the Audi behind, but all this battling, all it's going to do is allow Trev and Mark to work together to just catch these two. They need to try and realise that this battling, whilst it's very entertaining for us, is very slow.
It is indeed. It's very slow for the pair of them because at the moment Trev Hummer is 4.8 seconds behind as the two leaders make their way through the Craner curves down into the old hairpin. And Kapatka now has just over a 0.3 of a second advantage. Trev Hummer being pressured now by Mark Holmes in the battle for P3. Zami Fidescu now going up the inside of Martin Dergala. This is for 8th place. Oh, that's where you don't want to do it side by side through the Craners. Sami Fidescu will have the inside line for the old hairpin. The Audi gets up the inside of the Alpha, which unfortunately has a bit of a late braking moment. But Dergala door checks Sami Fidescu through the exit of the old hairpin. Here comes the recovering Ranjiv Kelsey. He's now considering himself an Alfa Romeo.
Oh, there's contact! There's big contact!
Oh, and
big
contact!
Well. It's 5 cars. It's impatient. It's unfortunate to see, but it's that impatience that causes these accidents. Obviously, Kelsey had a point to prove. He wanted to get through, and in the process, is obviously caused that incident. I would say. Obviously, we never want to see an incident like that.
But it was really good seeing Dergala and Zami Fidescu side by side through the Craners.
It was absolutely beautiful to watch.
You know, it was brilliant because Dergala outbraked himself on the right rear going through the corner, went around the outside of Zami Fidescu, door checking between the pair. Ranjiv Kelsey came running up behind them at a big rate of knots up the inside. Now that was going through Schwantz Curve. I'm looking at the YouTube feed, and then Zami Fidescu touches Dergala, and then Kelsey has to avoid. Zami Fidescu gets collected by Pollock, Alistair Pollock, but Ranjiv Kelsey now back on the gravy train, and here we go again. It's ding ding round 3 as they go through Schwantz Curve and now up into McLean.
He's going to go for the same move again.
And he's got it. He's got
it this time, but at the expense of a lot of drivers that lost out on that battle. I mean, obviously, it's great to see him fighting back, but when you make positions in a way that sometimes isn't really befitting of the standard, then obviously you've got to look at it with a bit of salt, almost. But it's still a very good recovery drive.
Yeah, you definitely have to take it with a pinch of salt from time to time.
Yeah.
Ranjiv Kelsey now has 16.6 seconds to make up in 6.5 minutes.
I don't
Can it
think
be done? Well, he's done it in a GT. Yeah, he's done it in a
Yeah.
GT3 car, but I don't think he can do it in this because he's got Stu Neal, who's going to be closing in on him at like a dose of salts. Martin Dergala will be out for blood. Chris Callahan will look to recover in the Ford Focus, and it's not that much between them. And there has been a change. Chris Fisher has now got past Mark Holmes, so the two Avensis teammates rounding out the top 5. There's Chris Fisher. I'm wondering what happened to Mark Holmes. Well, there is Holmes, and it's a trio. Make it a quartet of Toyota Avensis cars in the same shot on the stream. There you go. Heading through down Starkey Straight into Roberts. So 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Nathan Birch back into the lead again as Kapatkar. Oh, now, did Kapatkar just come out of the pits?
I think they just took a very interesting line into turn 1, if I'm honest.
That's always the deceiving thing about the pit lane exit here at Donington Park. You don't know whether they've come out of the pit lane or they're going to sweep through into Redgate, but Kapatkar is losing a bit of time. Last lap around, it was a 1 minute 9.674 for Nathan Birch. It was a 1 minute 10.038 for Kapatkar. Trev Hummer is running within a tenth and a half of Kapatkar and has just posted his personal best first sector in Sector 1. So Hummer is, hopefully he's not trying to employ the old, and I know this is going to be puntastic, but anyone remember the film Driven with IndyCar? The nickname Hummer was given to one Joe Tanto. So there's no association there, but it's just sort of my mind works in mysterious ways, and I sometimes have to bring a film reference. So
ironically, he is the only American, so he is the only American, so maybe he is channeling his inner IndyCar. But
yeah, he's in a Joe Tanto. And Trev Hummer has just put in a 1 minute 9.681. That's a great lap from him. Justin Wellbelove and the Tingram Jinxters tribute band, where Tim Harvey is waiting in the pits. Oh, looks like we've had Matt Webb go wide coming out of Coppice as Madame Greval. Oh, hang on a second. What on earth did I just see there? I saw Greval, and that might have been Callahan just behind. I think they might have just touched there. That is the case, and Greval's had a touch with the barriers as well. So Zami Firescu now up into what is 12th position, and Callahan has got a bit of a drama there, and Cyprian Stoll in the Audi RS3 looks to have disconnected, unfortunately. So that is a DNF for the number 68 Audi. A real shame for Cyprian Stoll, as Callahan decides to channel his inner Ken Block and goes rallycrossing between the old hairpin and the entrance into Starkey's Bridge. Channel your inner hooligan, my friend. Stefan de Groot from Big Logo Racing from the Netherlands, closing on Matt Webb in the Audi RS3, and that's for 15th on the road. So we're past that window. Oh, a little bit of assist from behind, and that was going... Oh. Yeah, that was it. Well, I think the other term that we can use apart from punt here, Adam, is yeet. He didn't yeet him on that particular occasion, but he was close to doing so.
So what's happened to Chris Fisher?
No, we've oh, well, he's down in 6th position, and so...
dropped 2 positions, so something's happened there. Kapatkar seems to be dropping off the back of Birch.
Yeah, so Nathan Birch has got just under 3 minutes to go, and he's probably going to we're on lap number 15 of this race. So with the pace they're setting, maybe another 3 on top of that, so we'll probably head to a maximum of 18 laps of the circuit, which is close to 36 miles, as Van Binsbergen from Big Logo Racing closing on Neil. That is the battle for 9th, and you can see Callahan, Zami Firescu and Greval rounding out the top 13. Looks like Steve Hilton and Matt Webb could possibly get an opportunity at points if they're close enough, but Matt Webb is about 3 seconds behind Stefan de Groot, who is the final driver in the points. Top 15 will get points, but obviously fastest lap of the race will also get a point. But at the moment, Nathan Birch looks to extend a slightly early lead in the championship, and I think Birch has got, who's got the fastest lap at the moment? It is Matthias Kapatkar. So effectively that will put him a point behind Birch, because Birch didn't put it on pole. Kapatkar put it on pole. He's put the fastest lap in and also is second on the road. So realistically, from that aspect, it will be that it will be a point in it after the first race here on the Pro-Am classification. But Nathan Birch really doing a great job out front. Has extended that lead to nigh on 2 3/4 seconds heading into Roberts. So he will cross the line with around about a minute and 15 or so seconds to go. So it'll be this and one more lap after this one.
It sounded like I heard a misshift there, but I'm not quite sure who that was from. Is there we got a car being close to laps to Lorenzo Molnar, who's about to be lapped, I believe, by the leaders. There they are. There's one leader, so the other one shouldn't be far behind. It seems to be that he's got enough issues on his own at the moment that are hampering him.
Yeah, it looks to be the case, and realistically, from that aspect, Lorenzo Molnar from Big Logo Racing getting out of the way of Kapatka as we're into the last 30 seconds of the race itself. Madan Grevel having more dramas coming through Roberts than that's allowed. Van Binsbergen and looks to be Steve Hilton. Chris Callahan is now making his way
we've lost
through
Van Binsbergen.
the curves. Oh, have we? Van Binsbergen's DNF, so that's a disconnect on the server. That's a real shame. Van Binsbergen was running in 12th place. Well, he was running as high as 10th, actually. So, oh, hang on. Van Binsbergen's back in P10. But we're now on to the 18th and final lap of the race. Nathan Birch is leading by well over 3.4 seconds. Going through into the Craner curves for the final time of asking.
Oh, what's happened here?
Kapatkar's lost out to Hummer. Hummer's got through for second. And Kapatkar had a 1 minute 11.2 second lap time. Hummer was significantly quicker. Looks like Kapatkar had a massive moment. Kapatkar's off the track.
Where's Holmes?
He's definitely got an issue.
He's pulled off as an issue for Kapatkar. What's wrong with the car? Has he run out of fuel?
Well, if it's run out of fuel or whether he's had a hardware or software issue, that could also be another thing. If he's had a problem, I mean, his ping isn't. Kapatkar's ping is one of the. Well, there's 3 in the red, and it shouldn't. It's not as high as the other 2. But Kapatkar's, yeah, he's pulled off. He's called it a day. But realistically, that now is going to give the opportunity. So the race winner is about to cross the line, and Birch takes the victory in the opening round of the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup Pro-Am Split, brought to you in association with GoBobby.co.uk. And looks like Trev Hummer is celebrating with swinging the car from side to the side, finishing second. Mark Holmes rounds out the top 3. Justin Wellbeloved and Chris Fisher. It's a 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Avensis posse. Ranjith Kelsey, despite having started at the sharper end of the grid on the front row, finishes in 6th. Martin de Gala brings home another Alfa Romeo in 7th. Stu Neal, the only Honda on the grid, comes through in 8th. Jari van Binsbergen in 9th, ahead of Romania's Lucian Samifirescu. Chris Callahan, well, it looks like, Kapatkar has disconnected from the server, but it's Hilton, De Groot, Grevel, Webb, Douglas, Riley, and Pollock and Molnar. It's like there's some hijinks post-race there. Matt Webb just decides, I'm just going to park behind Chris Callahan. There we go. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Oh, here we go.
Nathan Birch takes the... Oh, goodness me. They're all going to gang up on somebody. And, it's the M20. It's the virtual M25 at Redgate. And there's been an incident. There's been a murder. Sorry. And everyone now decides to escape to the pit lane. But Nathan Birch takes the victory in the first race of the evening. And,
eventful.
That was rather spicy, wasn't it, Adam?
Eventful is probably the easiest word to say there. Honestly, it was an amazing race, and I think that we saw potentially some of the best racing that we've seen for quite a while. That was such good racing. It's really unfortunate that Kapatkar lost connection right towards the end, but absolutely brilliant racing from everyone. I believe we have Nathan in the interview waiting room. I will also summon the other two if you want to bring him in.
Yeah, let's bring in Nathan Birch and also Mark Holmes into the interview room. But let's have, first of all, a chat with our race winner. Let me just see if I can bring him in here. Hang on a second, they might be having a bit of a chinwag. I don't want to disturb them at the moment. It's always the way, always the way.
I will.
Let's just see.
I'm just gonna. Mr. Birch, we want, isn't it? Mr. Birch.
It is indeed, yeah.
Commentary 2. There we go.
Right, well, our winner of the opening round, the opening race here at Donington Park National for the first of 3 races tonight for the opening round of the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup Pro-Am Split, brought to you in association with gobobby.co.uk. Nathan Birch wins the race. Nathan, that was a great battle between yourself and T.S. Kapatka, who unfortunately DNF'd towards the end of the race. Your feelings, first of all, I mean, the move you pulled around the outside of him through Redgate was ridiculous.
It's good fun racing him. He's improved a lot since the first race with him a few months ago. He's nice and clean and he's pretty consistent. So when I was behind him, I couldn't really overtake him anywhere. When he was behind him, he was keeping pressure on me all the time. But it's good fun, that.
Obviously, it's going to change a little bit with ballast in race 2 coming up very, very shortly indeed. How are your thoughts coming into that one? Because it's all going to change a little bit, isn't it? You know, you're going to start on pole position, but you're going to be at the might of the Wolf Pack behind you, aren't you?
Yeah, so that's the first time I've done a race distance in the Audi. I'm just in for one night only tonight, so I've not done much practice at all. So that was a learning experience. So just as I start to get used to the car, there's going to be some extra ballast on it. So it's going to be a nice challenge, I guess. But if I don't get off the line, I could just get eaten alive in the next race.
And obviously, how are the Audi's tyres after the race? Because, you know, front wheel drive and rear wheel drive, they tend to have very different characteristics in how they warm up and sometimes overheat the tyres depending on how quickly you're pushing. How were they on the Audi?
They were pretty good condition at the end. Having abused them for 20 minutes, front left was still offering plenty of grip, and with the Audi, it seems to keep heating the rears quite nice as well. So you get a nicely balanced car a whole race. Maybe need to try and dial out the understeer a little bit, but it's pretty well balanced and grip stayed pretty consistent.
Well, Nathan, congratulations on the race 1 victory. Good luck in race 2.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's see if we can bring in our resident stateside fellow in the form of Trev Hummer, who I think, if memory serves me correctly, Adam, finished P2.
You did indeed.
Good evening. Good evening, Trev. Well done. Congratulations. Weaving from side to celebrate after disaster for Mr. Kapatka. But how are you feeling after the opening round of the season?
Really good. Yeah, I haven't gotten a lot of practice in, so I'm glad I have finished second place that race.
And obviously, it was quite interesting to see 4 Toyota Avensis cars in a row. You leading the train. I mean, the Toyota's quite a handy car around here at Donington Park. With obviously the addition of now what's going to be success ballast for race 2, it's going to change things rather differently in terms of the dynamics of how the Toyota's going to handle, isn't it?
Yeah, I've not actually driven Toyota with ballast, so I'm not sure how that'll affect it. But yeah, I know it's just going to be a lot heavier and make the steering a little bit more sluggish.
Well, Trev, congratulations on your second place finish in race 1 and good luck for race 2.
Thank you.
Okay, last interview before we hopefully will go trackside for race 3. Let's bring in Mark Holmes. Mark, good evening. Congratulations. Well done. It was an interesting race, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not quite what we expected. I know it probably looked as though Chris and I, my teammate, probably looked like we were fighting, but we honestly weren't. It was trying to figure out who was quickest. I was stuck behind Trev, and I could keep up with him, but couldn't get past. And Chris caught up to us, and I thought, maybe I should let him go, get our team off to a good start for the season. But various things happened, and here we are.
Yeah, and again, obviously, success ballast now rears its ugly head, as I've spoken with both Trev and Nathan about this. How are you feeling going into the race itself?
Reasonably confident based off the result of the first race, but I saw in qualifying and in the first race how there's quite a few pacey drivers around here, and I'm known for spinning. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, it's great to see you on the
Well,
podium, mate.
Mark,
Thank you very much. Look, as soon as one comes, another one comes.
Absolutely.
well, they do say good things coming. They do say good things come in threes, Mark, and hopefully we've got our fingers crossed for you tonight.
Thank you very much.
Right, so a big thank you to Nathan, Mark, and Trev for talking to us. Really good to hear from all three drivers. And the interesting thing was, Adam, that Trev was saying, well, I haven't driven this with ballast.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers haven't actually practiced with the ballast. It's something that they tend to not actually bother with. And for some reason, obviously, that will change the whole dynamic for this next race now.
Indeed it will. Everyone's starting to ready up on the grid for race 2 out of 3. We do have a third one after this, and what will be the case is that we will have a reverse grid draw, which will be drawn live at random between positions 6 and 10, and that will decide what will happen. And that's always the good thing. Having that sort of reverse grid draw always spices things up. You never know who's going to be at the front of the field, and if that driver that's at the front is going to go away and romp away with the victory. And we've seen that happen before, haven't we?
Absolutely. You can get drivers on a reverse grid who will just absolutely dominate. Adversely, you'll get drivers on a reverse grid that will just fall into the pack, and all of a sudden the pack's entirely bunched, and you've got everybody with an equal chance to fight for the win. I think we should see how this race goes. Obviously, Nathan now on the high of getting that first win, starting the season off strong. He'll obviously want that next win. Trev will obviously want to retain his crown, so he'll need to obviously start off strong in this round, and obviously he'll want the win as well. So it's going to be very interesting as to who actually takes the win, but I would say anyone between 1 and 15 could win it.
Well, let's have a look without further ado for the grid for race 2 out of 3 here at Donington Park National for the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup Pro-Am Split, brought to you in association with GoBobby.co.uk. Nathan Birch, our race 1 winner, starts from pole position in the Mark Blundell Tribute Band Audi. Then you've also got Trev Hummer in second, Mark Holmes in third. There's Justin Wellbeloved in the number 30 Avensis. It's going to be Chris Fisher in the 87. Ranjiv Kalsi coming back through the field to finish in 6th place. He will be ahead of Martin Dagala in the other Alfa Romeo Giulietta in 7th, who will then have Stu Neal alongside in the only Honda Civic, which has done a credible job so far and starts in 8th place. Jari van Binsbergen from the big logo team will start in 9th, with Lucian Zamfirescu in 10th position. Chris Callahan starts in 11th. Then you've got Steve Hilton. So there's Chris Callahan, there's Steve Hilton. Madan Greval in the BMW 125i M Sport starts 13th, ahead of the matte black, let's say, or sheer black Audi RS3 of Matt Webb. Stefan de Groot starts 15th in the Alfa Romeo Giulietta from Big Logo Racing, representing the Netherlands. Jacob Douglas in the Ford Focus ST starts in 16th place from Great Britain. Alex Riley in the Audi RS3 will start 17th in the number 9. Then it's Tejas Kapatkar, who unfortunately had the DNF. He starts in 18th. Alistair Pollock in the Ford Focus ST starts 19th, and bringing up the rear will be Lorenzo Molnar. And it looks like Sebastian Scholl is not on the server, has not been able to join. But we are T-minus 30 seconds and counting towards the start of our second 20-minute encounter. There is Chris Fisher in the 87 Toyota Avensis, car that has been used in British touring cars by the likes of Tom Ingram and Adam Morgan, amongst others. Had the opportunity of going behind the scenes, but the red lights are about to start on the gantry as we get ready and set. 5 seconds to go, and the lights start igniting. And when they go out, it will be off and away for race 2, and they have gone out, and we get a good start from Nathan Birch. Looks like a bit of a slow start at the back of the field, and that is Douglas that has already gone off the circuit. as they head through Redgate for the first time. Hummer was looking up the inside, going through into Redgate. And, we get a touch from behind, courtesy of Holmes.
Big contact!
Hummer spun around more times than Kylie Minogue when on one of her videos, and Hummer has just been, I think in the terminology, has just been served, and it's not humble pie. He's been served a lot of spins as a result of that. But Well Beloved gets into second, Fisher into third place. So a real shame there with regards to Trev Hummer, and Mark Holmes was trying to go through as well and contacted with the back of the car itself. But Nathan Birch must be loving all of this at the moment, Adam.
Absolutely.
He's getting away into the distance.
Yeah, he's going to love every second of this now. You know, the two people that were right next to him at the start of the race, nowhere to be seen. The people that technically have the championship challenge on them. Yeah, we've got a spinner in the background. Alex Riley
and Jari van Binsberg. The funny thing is that Ranjiv Kelsey has got more damage to the front of the car than he had in race 1.
Oh no!
And and Holmes again in the wars, and that was with Lorenzo Molnar. But looking back at the footage from earlier on when they got going, it was going through Redgate, and Holmes went up the inside of Hummer, going through into Redgate and tagged the right rear of the Avensis. Holmes went off to the exit stage right, and then all of a sudden Ranjiv Kelsey had nowhere to go. He was unsighted, and he literally had nowhere to go. And then all of a sudden, one of the big logo cars as well, could have been Stefan de Groot, I believe, as Well Beloved is trying to go for it on Birch, but Birch is not getting
contact. More
dramas. Well Beloved has just been tagged by Fisher. The Fisher Motorsport guys are having an absolute disaster in race 2. They're battling for a team's championship, and there is Ranjiv Kelsey and Martin De Gala, as De Gala, I think, is just nigh on T-boned Kelsey.
His elbows out in race 2. There's no holes barred here in race 2, and this is not exactly what we want to see. We're here to see some clean racing, guys. Let's get some racing back underway. But, I mean, Nathan Birch has got to be loving this. He's now a good 2.5 seconds clear of the next driver, and he can just control the race.
The hits, they keep on coming, as they say. But not the hits that you want to see. Trev Hummer's now making his way back up the order. He's trying to chase down Chris Callahan for 12th place. But it's not been an easy drive tonight for some of the competitors. So Hummer down in 13th. He's now got to channel his inner Joe Tanto. Chris Fisher still in 4th place. Well Beloved has been passed, of all people, by Stu Neal. The Honda Civic has really come up good as well. Stefan de Groot has just had a disconnect from the server on lap number 2. A real shame for him. And that looks
indeed.
He's had a DNF. That is a DNF, unfortunately, for the Alfa Romeo. The driver from the Netherlands out in race number 2. So drops us down to 19 runners and riders. Well Beloved trying to close in on Neil. Neil has a bit of a lock-up going through the exit of Redgate. But to be honest with you, Nathan Birch is about a second up the road from the Honda Civic. But the Honda Civic, the FK2 derivative, always a very, very good package. And the Audi could be under the crossfire. Tears Kapatko, in the meantime, has gotten up to 9th place and is chasing down Alistair Pollock for 8th position. Adam Grewal in the number 11 BMW, as Kapatko's gone grass tracking again through Old Hairpin. That's track limits abuse, and if you get pinged for that too often, you will have to serve a penalty. We're less than 5 minutes in, and already it's gone to pot here, Adam. I mean, I've never seen so many incidents.
I mean, it's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate to see, you know, our 2 podium sitters from race 1 being obviously wiped out, with whether it was through their fault or somebody else's fault. It will be reviewed more than likely, but obviously we never want to see anybody taken out. And Mark Holmes to start from, I believe, 3rd on the grid to now be down in 17th. That's not exactly how you imagine your second race after your first podium of the season to go. But it's really unfortunate for both of them. But I know they'll keep racing on and trying to make their way back up into that top 10.
So Kapatkar's had an incident with Pollock, I believe, just a second ago, and that was in the battle for 8th position. And Pollock is trying to look towards the inside, won't get through on the older hairpin on that particular occasion, but Kapatkar gets through for 8th place, and now we'll start closing in on Madan Grewal in the number 11 BMW 125i M Sport. Martin Degala rounds out the top 6, and look, it's the battle for the lead. It's nearly 3 abreast. That's coming through McLean's. That was coming through Coppice. Birch is hanging on by a finger thread at the moment, a thimbleful at the moment. And Well Beloved looking on the inside, Neil to the outside of the Avensis. And there's a little bit of tagging there, but Well Beloved gets through and gets the lead. Neil up into second, looks to the outside of the Toyota Avensis.
Go on,
and Stu Neil is running on next to no ballast. And Nathan Birch rounds out the top 3. Neil looking around the outside, Well Beloved back up the inside through Redgate. And the Avensis gets back out in front. But Birch, you can tell that even with that big amount of ballast on there, the Audi is performing really well. One of the good things about Success Ballast here, Adam, is that apart from the fact that you might be at a disadvantage through cornering speeds and also straight line speeds, going through the corners, the Success Ballast actually helps to hanker the car a bit more into the tarmac.
Absolutely, it really does. And you can tell that the extra grip he's carrying is what's keeping him at the back of the Avensis and the Honda, but honestly, it's interesting to see how he's still holding on when obviously Wild Love and Birch both have a lot less ballast. I mean, sorry, so, Mr. Neil.
Yes, not. It's been a long night.
It's been a very long night.
We haven't even really gotten started yet.
It's almost halfway through, and it's still neck and neck for the race 2 win, and this is what we love to see. As Stu Neal now goes for it, he's going for it into Redgate. He's made the move. He's getting tagged.
Nice and clean. Oh, a little bit of he got a tag from Well Beloved from behind, but not too much to unsettle the back end of the Honda Civic as it goes through the Craner curves down into the right-hander here at the old hairpin. Nathan Birch is keeping pace with Justin Well Beloved and Stu Neal on the last lap, and Nathan Birch was actually the slowest of the trio, but he's the quickest of the trio in Sector 1, up through Schwantz Curve, through into the right-hander here at McLean. Stu Neal making the wide haunches
Here we go.
of that Honda Civic as wide as humanly possible. As Well Beloved looking towards the outside through into Coppice, might try and get the switch back. A little bit of a slight touch from behind. That could open the door for Nathan Birch. Now here comes Chris Fisher. Fisher's got a real turn of speed, but keep your eyes on the 2 Alfa Romeos behind, and also the BMW in the distance.
Queue at the background.
Birch chink to the that's Kelsey, that's Degala. You've got Grewal there as well. Well Beloved, I think, had a bit of a moment going through Roberts. And across the line they go to complete lap number 7. Stu Neal leads the way, and it looks like Mark Holmes has had a coming together with Alex Riley as Madan Grewal sets the fastest lap of the race, I believe, 1:09.603. Fastest in the first 2 sectors.
Pedaling that BMW to the max there. Oh, contact!
Oh no! Holmes again involved, this time with Alex Riley in the number 9 from RSK Motorsport, but Riley is given the position back. Good sportsmanship there by Mark Holmes, who realised that he made a bit of a faux pas there. But Stu Neal leading the way and has got a 0.3 of a second advantage ahead of Well Beloved. There's Birch, now here's Fisher. Oh, Kelsey, has anyone got the Jaws music on standby? Because I think we might need it right now, because it's going to be a 6-way scrap for the lead. Maybe make it 7. We're on board with Martin Zagala in 6th place, just behind Ranjiv Kelsey in the number 47 Alfa Romeo Giulietta. And they're heading down towards the chicane here at Roberts, down from 6th into 3rd. Dropping a lot of speed from about 120 kilometres an hour as they blast their way down the gearbox. And there is Degala, and he's gone towards the outside of Ranjiv Kelsey. Can Degala sweep through Redgate? Oh, that was close. He had to back out of it. Looks like there was a lock-up from Fisher in the Avensis. And Fisher's gone wide through Redgate, down into Craners. And there could be another Alfa Romeo joining the party, because I'm not going to go with it. It's the other one. There's Kapatkar. He's 1.3 seconds off of Grewal. Grewal in the number 11 BMW.
He needs to be really careful. because
He
he's
does.
cut that a lot of times now. So if he does it again, he may be on a penalty. He does need to be careful now.
He's not the only one that needs to be careful. Ranjiv Kelsey's been in
Oh.
man as well, cutting the track on lap 6 and 9.
That's Lorenzo Molnar. That's a back marker now in front of this train of seven cars, 8 cars.
Oh, that's going to be 8 when Kapatko gets onto the back of Grewal there.
There goes
Grewal's going to try
Grewal.
and make it 3 wide. Yeesh.
He's just thrown himself onto the grass. Very, very sportsmanlike there.
Of doing it. And a BMW is about to thread the eye of the needle between 2 Alfa Romeos very shortly, if things are not... if he's very careful, but
Gala's gone for it.
Around the outside of Kelsey and gets the move done through Redgate.
The BMW's going down the inside.
Up the inside of Kelsey, through into the Craners. That was very, very close indeed. Good racecraft, good sportsmanship between these drivers. And Nathan Birch runs wide, coming out of the old hairpin. And so does Kapatko. And all I'm going to say is track limits and Kapatko, yeet is the word of the day at the moment. Literally yeeting that car through the old hairpin.
If he's not, like I say, I think it's after the 3rd warning you do start to get your penalties. So he does need to be very careful.
Indeed he does. And the good thing is that Nathan Birch, despite having started the race from pole position, still a very good result. I mean, that's a pretty good amount of points if you consider it this way, Adam.
Absolutely.
He's going to gain 15 points. That will put him on 35, and he will have the lead in the championship after race 2, as Kapatko and Grewal side by side, door panel to door panel, and the Alfa Romeo looks to go round.
Oh, it's contact!
There's a touch between the two, and Kapatko holds it nice and steady, and Grewal, unfortunately, is the one that ends up with the wrong end of the stick on that particular occasion. Steve Hinton in the RSK Motorsport 84 Audi running at the top 9, but Stu Neal leading the way, and Stu Neal and Justin Wellbeloved have pulled away from Nathan Birch and Chris Fisher, who complete the top 4. Martin Dagala and Ranjiv Kelsey and Tias Kapatko complete the top 7, a trio of Alfa Romeos. There's Mark Holmes down in 15th. Trev Hummer rounding out the top 14 positions, so not exactly where they want to be. And Lucian Zamfirescu from Romania rounds out the top 13, but closing on Pollock. Van Binsberg and Callahan, and Molnar looks to be just keeping out of the way. Exit stage right or exit stage left when he needs to, does the 33.
Absolutely.
As these trio here, this is the battle for 11th position. As the Focus gets the run on the Alfa Romeo, that's coming through Koppis and Pollock right in the slipstream of Van Binsbergen, and goes towards the outside, could get the overlap. And he literally late breaks going into Roberts.
Oh, there's a bit of shoving.
He squeezes Van Binsberg, and here comes Zamfirescu 3 wide across the line. And who's going to be at the front of that? Van Binsberg.
Seems to be the Alpha's pulled it.
But
I think the Alpha's going to...
Oh,
there's a double tap there.
Not what you want. 3 wide into Redgate. Never goes. And Zamfirescu is the one that loses out more than anybody. Wellbeloved now really on the back bumper of Stu Neal. Looks to the right, looks to the left. Now through into Koppis. And the Alpha, it looks like the Vents is trying
a little
to get
bit of contact.
cut through.
Just a tiny bit of contact.
There, but no harm, no foul.
No.
A little bit of rubbings racing, as they say.
Absolutely.
In NASCAR. But just under 6 minutes to go. We're about to complete 12 laps. This 1.957 mile circuit. Stu Neal leads the way, and at the way things are stand, so Kelsey, Kapatko, Grewal, Hilton or Callahan, if it ends up like it does now, what could happen is both the 2 leaders lock up going into Redgate respectively. Neal runs wide coming out of the corner, but puts the power down, gets the traction, now starts hurtling his way down the roller coaster ride that is the Craner Curves. Nathan Birch holding station in 3rd, but doing a great defensive job on Chris Fisher for the final step on the rostrum. But 5 1/4 minutes remaining, and Kapatko's gone wide again off of the old hairpin. That's not great for him, but now Chris Fisher looking towards the inside. That's going through McLean's. Has he got through on the Audi? No, Birch has gone defensive, but ended up going rally crossing out of McLean's, but gets it nailed back through into Koppis. We're on board with Chris Fisher. Fisher Motorsport Toyota events us up to 4th gear, out onto Starkey's straight. 5th gear is going to pull 6 momentarily. He's in the slipstream. There it is. And over 130 miles an hour, hard on the brakes, down to 3rd gear. 100 kph, that's 62 miles an hour. So scrubs off well over the national speed limit in the braking zone. But right on his back bumper, there is Martin Dagala looking for 4th place. And the Alfa Romeo has got the inside run going through into Redgate as Nathan Birch locks up. As does Dagala, as does Fisher, but Dagala gets the move done. He's going to get the opportunity to have a side-by-side encounter with Fisher, who goes alongside the Alfa Romeo Giulietta down the Craner curves into the old hairpin. And what could happen here? Dagala gets the inside line. Has he got the move completed? He has, but Fisher pins it round the outside. Could get the run through Starkeys up into Schwantz curve. Dagala keeps it round the outside. This is great racing. This is what you want in touring cars. And through into McLean's. And Dagala has still got the move done, but Fisher is really pushing him. And Dagala is soaking up that pressure like a sponge. Through into Coppice. The Alfa Romeo takes the tighter line on the apex. Little bit of contact. Fisher runs wide, and that is going to open the door for Kelsey and Kapatka. And Kapatka, oh, that was close. Literally darting to the right-hand side. And now Kapatka looking up the inside of Ranjiv Kelsey. He's got through. Has he got the move done? He has. A little bit of touch between the pair as they bump door panels again across the start-finish line. And Fisher's going to make it nearly 3 abreast. And he's gone ahead of Kapatka. Kelsey back up into 4th position. Kapatka, 5th position. Kapatka towards the inside of Fisher going through Redgate. Fisher runs wide. It's side by side. Well Beloved has got the lead, and he's going to get the lead. A bit of door checking there between the 2 leaders. And Well Beloved gets through to take the lead through the old hairpin. Up through Starkey's Bridge and through into Schwantz curve. Stu Neal is not hanging about, and he's looking up the inside. This is going into McLean's, and Well Beloved keeps the events pinned to the outside, and Nathan Birch joins the fray. 3-way scrap for the lead of the race with 2.5 minutes to go on the clock. This is what you want, and there has been a moment between Fisher and Kapatka. Fisher is ahead of the Alfa Romeo in 6th place and is trying to close on Ranjiv Kelsey. But Well Beloved, Neal and Birch, they are covered by nothing going through Roberts. And we've got this plus 2 additional laps remaining. So we're about to complete lap number 15. Lap 16, Stu Neal is ahead. And it was literally a dead heat on the line as they went across it. Stu Neal and the Honda Civic leads the way on lap number 16 of this race. Well Beloved really getting the aggression out now. There was a little bit of a rub there. Left front wing of the Avensis to right rear wing of the Honda Civic. Nathan Birch has got to be careful here. He's got the ringside seat. He's got to really watch his P's and Q's. Well Beloved up the inside of Neal through the old hairpin. Now up the hill they go. And the Honda Civic stuck in the middle of an Avensis and Audi sandwich right now. And Neal looking up the inside through into McLean's. Well Beloved shuts the door. 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock, and Birch now going for second. Birch has got the inside run on Neal, going through into Coppice. The Audi's got through. The Audi's made the move up into 2nd position. Despite full success ballast, Nathan Birch has been punching above his weight, and also the Audis thereof, but Stu Neal coming back at him on the approach down Starkey Straight, retakes 2nd position, going into Roberts.
All this fighting is going to allow Justin to pull away.
Yeah, it's going to allow Well Beloved to pull away. And we're on to what will be the final lap of the race, because they crossed the line with just over a minute remaining. It was under 1 minute 9. So this will be the final lap. Neal and Birch both go wide. And they go wild onto the grass. That could allow Dagala to get through. Dagala's right on the back bumper of Birch, going through the Craners. And Dagala could get the inside line. He's going to try and outbrake Birch, but he can't get through. That was close for Martin Dagala. He's got a good run coming out of the old hairpin. Switches to the outside on Starkey's Bridge, up towards Schwantz curve. Don't tell me he's going to try and do it there. That's incredibly ridiculous. He's gone for it. Dagala's going to go for it. Bit of a door check with the Audi. Bit of rubbings racing, a bit of paint exchanged again as they go through into McLean's, into Coppice, and this time Dagala's got the inside run through the second right-hander. Dagala will get the traction. The weight of the Audi will start to slightly slow it down on straight line speed, but Nathan Birch is still side by side. Timer is hit 0. Well Beloved will
Oh,
take the
there's
checkered.
contact!
Oh, that was a cut across. That was a cut across and then some. But Well Beloved will take the checkered. Well Beloved wins race 2. Neil in second position. Nathan Birch, a second successive top 3 finish. Martin de Gala denied at Roberts. Takes fourth ahead of Tejas Kapatkar, Ranjiv Kelsey, Chris Fisher, Madan Grewal, Steve Hilton, Chris Callahan round out the top 10. Alistair Pollock makes it 2 Ford Focuses in the top 11 ahead of Lucian Zamfirescu. And then it is Jari van Binsberger. And it's going to be Mark Holmes and Trev Hummer that will round out the top 15, all scoring points in this race. Alex Riley unfortunately denied a little bit earlier on, and he will finish ahead of Matt Webb, Jacob Douglas, and Lorenzo Molnar and Stefan de Groot unfortunately DNFing. But Justin Wellbeloved brings it 1 win apiece to Audi and to Toyota. And a great job by Stu Neal and Nathan Birch after what was a very, very interesting.
It was an incredible race.
Number 2.
Absolutely, you're completely right there. I think great race, interesting. Right at the very end there, it'll be interesting to see what the stewards have to say about that last corner incident. But I mean, rubbing is racing, but Mark just didn't want. Mr. Birch just didn't want to give away that last podium spot at all, did he?
He didn't want to give it was points more than anything because
I think,
was leading the championship.
I think very much so. Sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say very much so, but no, I think also it's always nice to have that little bit of virtual silverware as such. You know, I think a lot of people here will still be wanting that podium, even if it does mean at the cost of maybe in another race where they do get a penalty or maybe like a grid drop. But obviously that's racing. Sometimes you just go, all you want is the next position in front, and if you can go for it, you go for it.
Indeed, it does. So we're just waiting for our top 3 drivers to hopefully come into the interview waiting room. So Justin Wellbeloved, our race 2 winner, ahead of Stu Neal in the Honda Civic, and then Nathan Birch, our race 1 winner, rounds out the top 3. But you know, I mean, the biggest talking point has to be the incident involving Trev Hummer and Mark Holmes. Now, Mark Holmes said, "Well, I'm known for spinning a little bit." Well, I think he didn't put a commentator's curse. He put a driver's curse on himself on that one. Bless him.
Absolutely, he did indeed. That is very unfortunate to see him get obviously taken out by him, not by just himself, but in general, it just didn't end well at all for either of them. Both drivers who normally would be further up the grid, I think. Very much a case of an accident sort of waiting to happen there, I think.
Yeah. So we are just waiting for some interviewees. Well, actually, funnily enough, we have got one. Let's bring him in. Let's bring in our race 1 winner. And now race 2, 3rd place finisher. Let's see if we can bring in Nathan Birch.
I can do.
Well, might have a bit. There we go. So Nathan, despite having all that success ballast on the Audi, you still helped man and machine well and truly punch above its weight, and also you gave I think you gave Martin de Gala a bit of a fright going through into Roberts for the final time, but still to get a P3. That really showcased how good the Audi was, and really good to see that you were keeping pace with Stu Neal and Justin Wellbeloved in the process.
Yeah, the success bias affected it way more than I thought it would have. I think it's cost me about 0.8 of a second compared to race 1. It was just every braking, accelerating zone, I was just losing out. But it was good fun trying to keep up with those that haven't quite got the same level of ballast.
Yeah, and obviously now we go into the reverse grid draw, which is going to be really, really interesting. That's going to spice things up even more, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be racing against people that I've potentially never raced against before, so it's going to be ensuring to give people plenty of space and seeing how much ground I can potentially make up.
I mean, also one of the other things that myself and Adam noticed during the broadcast for race 2, we found that the Alphas were incredibly quick, weren't they?
Yeah, they seem really nimble and good on the brakes and good at accelerating. Don't know whether that's just because of the ballast differences or whether that's just their trait in general. But I chose the Audi because I prefer how it looks, so we'll see if we can keep the Alphas behind us for another race.
I'm sure that Mark Blundell is looking on you with great favour at the moment with that TPC Racing livery with the HP logos all over it as well.
It's definitely getting better in my hands than it did in his, I think.
Oh,
that
shots
was
fired.
some
You heard
verbals
it here
there.
first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Different
Well,
circumstances.
Nathan. Oh, well, there we go. There we go. Virtual versus in real life. There you go. Two completely different comparisons. But never mind. Nathan, all the very best of luck for the reverse grid race 3.
Cheers.
So a big thank you to Nathan there. Let's bring in our second place finisher. Let's bring in the sole man representing the Honda Brigade. Let's bring in Stu Neal, who was so close to taking the victory. Stu, good evening. Great battle between yourself and Justin. We didn't really know which way the pendulum was going to swing, whether it was going to be in your favour or whether it was going to be Justin's, but that was one hell of a battle between you two, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was hard work, to be fair. Justin was pushing me the whole way. There was parts of the track I think I was a little bit quicker, and there's parts that he was quicker, and it was just, as you say, it was a bit of a pendulum going on. And in the end, he managed to squeeze his way through, but I didn't make it easy for him.
Yeah, I mean it's really good. I mean, we saw the pure pace of the Honda really showcasing to its strengths here, especially when it was a top 3 for front wheel drive. We've only got one BMW, so front wheel drive is pretty much king. Top of the pops, king of the hill here in the Pro-Am split. How do you fancy your chances for race 3? It's going to be a different kettle of fish, isn't it, altogether?
Yeah, I don't know, to be fair, because I mean, I literally haven't done any testing at all coming into this, and I've only just sort of got on this evening to sort of give it a go and been playing with the setup. And each race I've been tinkering, and obviously what I did worked a bit better for that one. So yeah, we'll see.
No worries. Well, Stu, all the very best of luck for race 3 this evening, my friend. Well done.
Nice one, thank you.
Right, last but by no means least, let's bring in our race 2 winner, bigging it up for the Tom Ingram Ginsters Brigade, Justin Wellbeloved. Justin, congratulations, great victory out there. Brilliant battle between you and Stu for the race victory, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was tight. Yeah, side by side down Crane too many times for my liking.
I bet the beats per minute were definitely floating through the roof, weren't they? Apart from the... I think did you have a defib on standby just in case?
Yeah, just in case. So I wasn't even expecting to be at the front, to be honest. I had my heart set on sort of midfield, so I don't know where the pace has come from tonight.
I think also with the incident that we saw between Mark and Trev, coming through the Cranies for the first lap, it really changed the dynamic of the race, didn't it?
Yeah, I was lucky to avoid them. I don't know how I got around them, to be honest. And then I had a bit of a coming together with Chris. And I had a bit of a Plato moment where I just had to plant the throttle, and it sort of sorted itself out. So
I was going to say you came out of Coppice sideways, I believe, on lap 1.
Yeah, I literally just planted the accelerator and hoped it would straighten up, and luckily it snapped back round on me because I thought I was going off. So.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I love the fact that we're getting these BTCC references in. I've mentioned Mark Blundell to Nathan Birch. And he's it definitely was the shots fired kind of comment from Nathan, which is brilliant. He said, in my hands it's a little bit better, but it's all a bit of banter at the end of the day. That's these leagues are competitive, but at the end of the day, Justin, they're all for a lot of fun, aren't they?
They are. And at the end of the day as well, with Stu, I think he didn't have quite as much ballast as me, and I could really see it down the straights because I could always come out of Coppice quicker than him, and I just couldn't get anywhere near him, with the ballast. So it was just, I think when he made mistakes, that's when I seized the opportunity just to get down the inside of him. But he gave me plenty enough room. There was a little bit of rubbing, but that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Indeed. Well, Justin, Congratulations on
Thank
your
you.
race 2 victory. Good luck in race 3.
Thanks a lot.
Right. So the thing is, Adam,
We've got a bit of a
we're
wait
meant to
now.
have a reverse grid draw. Yeah.
I
Yeah, I was
mean,
gonna
while we
say.
wait, we should probably, obviously, again, a big thank you to everybody that's sponsoring the series. Go Bobby, Gridfinder, obviously Simsport for bringing the VRCC into their ranks and giving us the opportunity to showcase probably some of the best talent we've brought in, definitely from club racing and beginner sim races to this amazing group. Obviously, they've got a new series coming up on Wednesday on iRacing, the MX5 Cup. I believe they've also got their GT3 league running as well, which is running alternate Sundays to the VTCC. So next weekend they have their GT3 league. All of these are obviously available to join. But meanwhile, we're going to take a small break and play a couple ads.
Right, we now turn our attention to the partial reverse grid pole draw, and good to have Toby Owen with us. Toby, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm very well, thank you. What an incredible start to the season we've seen.
Not just with us, but also in the pro leagues as well. I understand it seems like it's been crash bang wallop, as we always expect with VTCC action. But we've got a reverse grid pole draw for positions 6 to 10. So that will be between Chris Fisher, Ranjiv Kelsey, Madan Grewal, Steve Hilton, and Chris Callahan. This is where it gets interesting, doesn't it, Toby? Because it always spices things up. We see it in the BTCC all the time, and it's about drawing the number and finding out who's going to be on reverse grid pole.
Absolutely. So just to confirm how it works, those six from 6th to 10th will be drawn. One position will be drawn out of the hat, and that is the position that will start on the reverse grid pole. Any drivers that finished in front of them in race 2 will be sort of reversed order. So if it's number 8 that comes out, for example, then 7th place would be second on the grid, 6th becomes third, and so on. And anyone sort of behind the draw, if you like, will retain their finishing position from race 2. Now, there have been a couple of penalty amendments for track limits. In the top 10, the one that's significant is Ranjiv Kelsey drops from 5th to 7th in the results, but that does actually put him in the draw for a reverse grid pole, so that would be quite a story if it ended up number 7. But without any further ado, I will make the draw. So the number that is going to be drawn onto the pole is... It is number 9, Steve Hilton. So Steve Hilton will start on pole position for race 3, Madan Grewal 2nd, Ranjiv Kelsey 3rd, and so on.
There you have it. Toby Owen, thank you very much for that. Really, really appreciate it. So Steve Hilton, I think he's going to be either he's going to be happy and he's going to be petrified all at the same time with that one. So Toby, thank you very much for joining us, and glad that you're really enjoying the show, and that everyone else on both respective splits are enjoying all the action here on Simsport Racing. A big thank you for everyone joining us on the opening round of this season of the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup Pro Split, Pro Split, and Pro and Am Split, both brought to you in association with gobobby.co.uk. So Steve Hilton is the one with the target on his
Another
back here,
Audi. Another Audi on the pole. Race 2 and race 3 now polled by Audis. And some Alphas very close behind as always. It's going to be interesting to see because bear in mind he's only got 9th place ballast as well, so he will not have much in the way of ballast. However, the guys behind him will have more, and all of a sudden those guys that have more ballast have got to fight the guys behind rather than the guys in front. And it's going to make everything completely different, and it's going to be great.
Indeed it is. So we're getting towards the countdown for race 3. Less than 5 minutes to go, maybe not even that. We will be waiting for everyone to start readying up on the grid. But so far, by my not my assumption, but by my rudimentary and probably antiquated mathematical skills, that I think that it is that Nathan Birch is currently leading the standings on 35 points coming into race number 3. But Steve Hilton is the one that they've all got to get past quickly. And you know for a fact that even with 37 damage on the front of a car, Ranjiv Kelsey is like a rat up a drain pipe. He will go for broke. We have seen that tonight, haven't we,
Absolutely.
Adam?
I think we've seen it multiple times where people will just go for it, and I think there's nothing to lose. Obviously, round 1, everybody's on a level playing field still. Obviously, with the ballast, it does make it slightly different, but equally, everybody's still learning the cars, learning the track, learning to race against each other. So it's still very much no holes barred, equal playing field. Give it to next round, and all of a sudden, you'll see, as we've got interesting, Grewal has been put onto P2.
Yeah, we're just waiting. Yeah, we're just waiting for everyone to grid up. And so when we have Piers Kapatka, doesn't look to be has not joined quite yet. And so once he does, then we'll go through go through the... Well, we can start going through the grid anyway, I think, Adam.
Let's see if it wants to
So
work this
reverse
time.
grid poll.
No, it's not
Yeah,
working
let's see
again.
if it does want to.
It's being temperamental. Don't worry. There we go. And click that one, and if we go.
There we go. Steve Hilton, reverse grid pole for race 3 here at Donington Park. Then it's Madan Grewal in the number 11 BMW alongside him on the front row.
There we go.
Front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive power. Then it is Ranjith Kalsi, the Ferrari Works driver, the Simsport Racing Ferrari Works driver in GT3, Alfa Romeo touring car driver in the BTCC. Chris Fisher alongside him in the 87 Avensis. Then it's another Alfa Romeo, and this time it is Tejas Kapatkar, who will be ahead of Martin Dergala. So 2 Alfa Romeos on row 3. Nathan Birch, race 1 winner, and third in race 2, starts 7th ahead of Stu Neal, who finished in 2nd. Then it's Justin Wellbeloved in 9th place, and alongside him will be the Ford Focus ST of Chris Callahan, who unfortunately is the one that lost out big time in the reverse grid pole draw. Alistair Pollock is due to start in 11th position ahead of Lucian. So there is the Nova Finlandia number 18 Focus. Lucian Zamfirescu in the Audi RS3, sponsored by Pringles and Monster Energy, alongside Jari van Binsbergen in 13th. Mark Holmes rounds out the top 7 rows ahead of our sole stateside friend from the USA, Trev Hummer. Alex Riley joins the Avensis on row number 8 in the number 9 Audi RS3. Jacob Douglas in 17th in the 751 Ford Focus. Mark Holmes has just disconnected from the server as I said that. There's Matt Webb in the independent number 50 Audi RS3. Lorenzo Molnar in the Alfa Romeo. Then we've got Stefan de Groot, Adam Bent. And it looks like Mark Holmes might be... Well, I'm not too sure. Well, Mark Holmes has rejoined the server. And there's... there's Adam's car.
Well, I mean, I might give us... Yeah, you know, it's still there.
Music in My Soul is saying, go on, Hilton and Riley. So...
it's going to be interesting to see.
Exactly, that's the... Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but we are 40 seconds from going lights out and off and away. The third and final race will have a top 3 interview section, and then we'll curtail things for the night here on the first round of the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup Pro-Am Split, live on Simsport Racing's official YouTube channel. A big thank you to GoBobby.co.uk for their welcome assistance, and also our good friends at Gridfinder who have helped to promote this league as well. So in 2 weeks, Tor Poznan will be the next round on the calendar, round 2 out of 6. So the lights will start to ignite on the starting gantry one final time here in Leicestershire, and it is lights out. They are off and away. Who's going to get the best start? Madan Grewal looks to get the run on Steve Hint. Yeah, Grewal's gone, and he's got the lead initially going through into Redgate, but Hilton is staying behind. Looks like Chris Fisher has made it up into P3 initially. Kapatkar's up into 4th place. Birch running out the top 5. Dergala, they're all going side by side. Hurrah through the Craner curves, but Madan Grewal is leading the way.
Touch wood, it looks a lot cleaner.
Chris Callahan and Alistair Pollock had a little bit of a coming together, and there are cars all over the shop going through the exit of the old hairpin into the first 40 seconds of this race, and Madan Grewal is leading the way. Jacob Douglas hung out to dry around the outside, and that is of Alex Riley. There's one of the big logo cars, that's Jari van Binsbergen from the Netherlands. As we're into the first minute of the race, and Music Is My Soul is saying, good luck everyone. Well, they're going to need it here in race 3, because already Stu Neal is fending off race 2 winner Justin Wellbeloved, along with Alistair Pollock and also Martin Dergala. There's a bit of a lock-up. Oh, Stu Neal straight-lined it at Roberts. Wellbeloved over the sausage curbs. Pollock's looking to try and filter through as well in the process. And in the inside, Ranjith Kalsi's ended up going into the pit lane. Oh, he's gone into the pits, and that's damage to the rear and the left of the car. So he's going to be in the pit lane for a little bit of time. That's going to put him to the back end of the field. But when he comes out of it, he's now going to... I mean, that's really weird. He's just gone through the pit lane.
Is it a drive-through?
Trev Hum... That's a... Oh!
Is it a drive-through for a
very
jump start?
interesting.
It could well be, as that looks like a pack car's gone off. He has.
That's dropped him way outside of the top 12. And now Alex Riley's come up close and personal to him. Steve Hilton is going for the lead as Madden Grewal is up the inside. That's going through Coppice. The BMW takes the lead, the Audi just behind. And then we've got Chris Fisher. And again, Nathan Birch looking for a third successive podium in a row. He's really looking to extend his championship lead going into Tor Poznan in a couple of weeks' time as there's contact between
there's a bit more contact.
Hilton runs a little bit wide. Yeah, Hilton runs a little bit wide after the contact going through Roberts. And now Chris Fisher looks to the outside of the BMW.
We've got him.
Hilton looking towards the inside. And Holmes is off again. And Pollock has been involved. And that was a contact at around about 40 miles an hour. Ranjiv Kelsey as Chris Fisher hits the front. Modern Grewal, and now it is Nathan Birch that has got past Steve Hilton. Fisher locks up going into the old hall, trail breaking there through the old hairpin. And Nathan Birch, don't tell me you're going to put it round the outside through Schwann's curve.
He's gone for it. He's gone for it too.
He's even gone for the lead.
Unbelievable.
Madman. He's just got. What a move! The move.
And here comes Steve Hilton.
Nathan.
Oh no!
Oh
no!
Grewal and Fisher gets bumped to exit stage left. That was coming through McLean's and into Coppice.
Fisher and a German sandwich, just absolutely nowhere to go.
I think the thing was that Birch went up the inside, knew he could do the move. That's now given Martin de Gala the opportunity to be in P3. And now it's Audi. It's Ingolstadt versus Munich at the front of the field. Then it's Milan versus... then it's Italy versus Japan, followed by Ford, depending on whether you class it. If it's the Ford Focus, it'll be Cologne in Germany, not the United Kingdom, nor Detroit or Padborn in Michigan, not too far outside of Detroit. Zamfirescu makes it 2 Audis in the top 6. Hilton makes it 3 in the top 8 for Ingolstadt's finest.
Got a spinner, I believe. Jacob Douglas. It's turn 1, Redgate.
Spingate, I think, is what that's going to be nicknamed to. Forget a particular driver in Formula 1 who's had the name Spin added to his name. I think you all can guess who that is. Oh, did I say that out loud? Whoops. Nathan Birch, though, I mean, he's looking to be on course as there's Trev Hummer. More dramas for the American. That was going through McLean's there. And a real shame for Trev Hummer. Got a podium in the first race, but it's not been smooth sailing for the American in the second and third races here. Modern Grewal trying to close in on Nathan Birch. The gap is now 0.8 of a second. We go on board with the BMW. As that's a lock-up and a half. Serious amounts of smoke plumage coming from the right rear tyre of Nathan Birch heading through Redgate, and he's trying to slow it down to rotate the car going through into the Craner curves, and Madden Grewal is closing in the number 11 BMW. And then we've got Martin Tagala in the number 11. Alfa Romeo Giulietta, Justin Wellbeloved, race 2 winner, currently P4. Chris Callahan, highest he's been all night, in 6th, ahead of Lucien Zamfirescu. And Stu Neal, Chris Fisher, Steve Hilton. Good work by Stefan de Groot and Alex Riley. They round out the top 11, followed by Jari van Binsbergen, who's closing in on the Audi RS3 in the number 9. There's Matt Webb ahead of Mark Holmes. And the pace of the Fisher Motorsport Avensis cars has been pretty exemplary, but at the moment, Chris Fisher is the leading car in that team. Matt Webb running as one of the independents with 14 minutes on the clock remaining, still keeping the Avensis at bay as they go down Starkey's Straight. And Holmes looking towards the inside. Riley. Oh, that's a great move if he gets past Van Binsberger on this particular occasion, but it's going to be It's going to be side by side across the line, and it was 6 1/1000s between them. Riley relents and allows Van Binsbergen to have the place back, but the Dutch driver runs wide coming out of Redgate. Riley now goes through. Looks like Trev Hummer has just put in the fastest lap of anybody. There's Zamfirescu off and that was coming out of Old Hall, and that was with Stu Neal in 6th position. And now Chris Fisher trying to look through. Chris
Very
Fisher locks
sideways.
up the tail
Very
from
sideways.
left to right. That is what we call, ladies and gentlemen, a full-on tank slapper. And you know what this has meant? With 7 minutes gone, Steve Hilton is closing on Stu Neal. So Hilton looking to get back up into that top 5. And I'll be completely honest here, Adam. Chris Callahan isn't that far up the road with 12 3/4 minutes to go.
He's absolutely not, but I know he is psyched to sit on a podium. If I remember rightly, the rule is 1 podium equals 1 shoey. So he's very much focused on that podium. It'd be great to see him on the podium. He's a lovely guy.
I was going to say, so if he gets a win, does that mean 3 shoeys?
I would imagine 1 or 2 maybe, but 3 shoeys might be a bit of a health hazard, that. But no, absolutely.
Oh well, it is what it is. But
we've
Nathan
had a double
Birch-
shoey today.
Oh well, we have indeed. If anyone's watched the Italian Grand Prix, if you haven't already, it's a doozy. That's all I'm going to say about that one. But Madden Grewal is closing in. Oh, he's looking to go side by side down Starkey's.
He's got a better run, but
Down
the
into
Audi
Roberts.
seems to have a better straight line speed.
I think also because of the fact that Nathan Birch... Nathan Birch, that is his sweet spot there. He did that to Martin Dergala in the final lap of race 2 to secure 3rd place. And he's done exactly the same to Madden Grewal. And Grewal is looking towards the outside.
He's going to go down the inside. He should make the move there, but obviously it's not going to have enough... Oh, no, he has. I was going to say he shouldn't have enough pace to go through, but it's rear-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive there. And normally rear-wheel drive will win out in that occasion.
Sometimes that can be the case, but if you've got a car that's really well underpinned, like the car that Nathan Birch has, also, and I say that, Nathan Birch becomes part of the RX cartel. He's probably wanting to join Andreas Baccarat and Liam Doran in an Audi S1 Quattro in World RX with that excursion. Exit stage left, why don't you? But the good thing is that Nathan Birch, he said, you know, I know it's going to be a bit of a handful, but he's rising to the challenge. He is adapting on the fly really, really quickly. And that's what's been so impressive by Nathan Birch's performances this evening.
It is absolutely, you know, a lot of these drivers will have practice, a lot of drivers won't. I mean, like Nathan said, he's pretty much had very little to no practice coming on tonight. So to be able to fight for the wins is a testament to what he could achieve had he actually had the practice. Chris Fisher off in the last chicane.
And he had a moment with Stu Neal. It's not been Fisher Motorsports night and Toyota. I think the most successful Toyota at the moment is.
It would have been Holmes in P2.
Yeah. Well, I think Justin Wellbeloved's had the best results all night. I mean, he was in the top 5 in race 1. He won race 2. He's P4 at the moment, and he's trying to close in on Martin Dergala, whereas Grewal has got past Birch for the lead of the race on lap number 9, as we are past the halfway point. 9 minutes and 40 seconds to go. TS Kapatkar's just come together with Ranjiv Kelsey. Oh my goodness, and Matt Webb has just come together with Alistair Pollock. So more dramas. We ride on the bonnet cam. The Ginsters logo ablaze as Matt Webb also wants to become part of the RX cartel. Audi drivers unite. It might not be an S1, but it's as damn close as it will get with the big old hefty RS3. And Matt Webb goes wide coming out of McLean's. That allows Kapatkar to get through. Kelsey is down in what is now going to be 16th position, but Nathan Birch locking up quite significantly going through Redgate, and he's trying to close in on Madden Grewal, and they were pretty consistent on lap times. They were both in the 1 minute 10.3s. It was a little bit closer. Well, it was a little bit quicker from Nathan Birch, so I don't think Madden Grewal is going to have it all his own way. There's still 8 minutes and 45 seconds to go, and how could Nathan Birch just be saving those tyres a little bit? We talked about tyres earlier on in the broadcast, Adam, and you can see that there are some places where the BMW has got the pace on the Audi, but then the Audi say through the corners, really seems to hook up really, really well. Like going through Coppice, for instance. I mean, Birch has absolutely manhandled the first apex of it.
Absolutely, I think the Audi just seems to be able to do like for like with this BMW at the moment. Obviously, it locks up a lot more and seems to be able to take more curb as well. Whereas this BMW, I feel if you take a curb the wrong way with the rear-wheel drive, well, you're going to be facing 20 other drivers. So, yeah, very much a case of the Audi is just trying to fight as hard as it can to disadvantage the rear-wheel drive car. All he's got to do is pressure him enough, and I'm sure enough, he'll probably spin.
Yeah, I think one of the things that, as we now see that Trev Hummer's got the fastest lap of the race in 1 minute 9.825, that will give the American a point, and Trev Hummer now past Chris Fisher. So Trev Hummer is now effectively the second highest placed Toyota Avensis with Justin Wellbeloved in P4. Nathan Birch can apply pressure to Madame Grewal, but the biggest thing is that Nathan Birch needs to stop making any off-track excursions.
Yeah.
The sooner he stops doing that, the better off he's going to be. As the group battling away with Zamfirescu and Stu Neal. This is the battle for 6th place, so it's Honda versus Audi versus Alfa Romeo. And there's Steve Hilton, our partial reverse grid pole sitter. Stu Neal up the inside of Zamfirescu, and Zamfirescu ran the outside of the Honda through Coppice of all places, and a little bit of assist from behind courtesy of de Groot on Neal. And Steve Hilton has now got a double toe coming down Starkey Straight. De Groot looking towards the inside of Neal. That's never going to happen on a month of Sundays, even though it is Sunday night at the moment. But great battle here. Some great racing respect. And here comes Trev Hummer. And that was Van Binsbergen that ran wide coming out of Roberts. So now Trev Hummer up into the top 10.
Interesting, Birch has dropped right off the back of Grewal. So there we go, there's the mistake there. Seems to be making that same mistake lap after lap now, and it's going to affect him every time he does it.
Yeah, and it's going to compromise the top. Oh, that was way too much inside curb going through McLean's there. And that's going to open the door very shortly for Martin de Gala. And don't start flashing the headlights at Madame Grewal saying, hey, slow down, I want to play. No, you don't, because the BMW is way off into the distance. And you've got Martin de Gala now closing in on your 6. And as they say, Adam, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Absolutely, I think Birch will be able to withstand the defend. He's done it before. De Gala will probably remember race 2 and obviously want that position off Birch. So for Birch, it's a case of close the gap. For De Gala, it's a case of revenge from race 2.
Exactly. So just over 5 minutes to go here on the third and final race of the opening round of the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup, brought to Pro-Am Splits, brought to you both in association with GoBobby.co.uk. A big thank you to Bob Yusko, who runs the company, for putting his backing into this respective championship. Chris Fisher going through the craners, and he's gotten ahead of Stu Neal, who's now in 11th position. Stu Neal off at Old Hairpin. Very, very wide went the Civic, and that has allowed de Groot and Holmes to get through in the meantime, and could put Neal in the clutches of Alex Riley down in 14th position. Trev Hummer now closing in on partial reverse grid pole sitter Steve Hilton, the American, in the 404. AJR Motorsport Toyota Avensis looking to close as we ride on board on the front bonnet cam, or the hood cam, if you want to put that in that kind of context, for the United States of America, going through over Starkey Straight into Roberts. And there's a bit of a tug between the two, and Hummer spins it as a result, and then he gets collected by Van Binsbergen. But luckily enough, the American stays out of harm's way, and that has really put pay to his race with 4.25 minutes still to go. But Nathan Birch, again, keeping himself well away from Martin de Gala, who completes the top 3. There's Justin Wellbeloved. Chris Callahan, best results of the night so far for the 49 Ford Focus, in 5th position, running a bit Billy No Mates in the minute, but still, he'll be happy about that one. Lucien Zamfirescu rounds out the top 6, and we're on board with the number 15 Audi, running in P6. Just behind, there is another Audi in the form of Steve Hilton. 8th place, Jari Van Binsbergen, who just decides to go wide coming out of McLean's. Whoops. Then you've got Chris Fisher and Mark Holmes running at the top 10. They've got Stefan de Groot behind us. Oh, Holmes up the inside of Fisher through Coppice, and then de Groot sees that the door's open too, and he gives Fisher a bit of a door check there. A bit of paint swapping between the Alfa and the Toyota. And then de Groot up the inside, sends it on the inside through Roberts on Holmes. That's a brave move from the Flying Dutchman.
Looks like a driver
that
swap
was
gone wrong,
brilliantly
that.
timed. Well done, Stefan de Groot. That puts him in 9th place.
That very much looks the
Brilliant
case of
job
a
there.
bit of team orders there going wrong, but absolutely well worked by Stefan Groot to see the opportunity there. As Hilton's got past Zanfarescu.
Yeah, Zanfarescu, the Romanian, not Romanian. You see, it's been a long day. And Ranjiv Kalsi has pulled it into the pits. So has Lorenzo Molnar. Looks like they're both retiring from the race. We've got 2.5 minutes to go. Alistair Pollock in the number 18, another Finlandia car. Chris Callahan having an absolute doozy of a race this time around. This will be good, solid points for him. Brings him into the title push going into Tor Poznan in a couple of weeks' time. But Martin Dagala will have this, plus maybe an additional lap or two. But Dagala's looking up the inside. Birch puts it to the outside. Both lock up. Plume trails of smoke from the back end of both cars. But Nathan Birch keeps it in second position. Martin Dagala rounds out the top 3 in the number 11 Alfa Romeo Giulietta. But Madden Grewal is still leading the way as they go through into Starkey's Bridge up towards Schwanz Curve. Stu Neal. There's been Zamfidescu.
Oh, that's not a safe rejoin.
And that has... Oh my goodness, that's what you do not do. Whew.
That was...
beats per minute have now accelerated over 150 here in this side of the virtual commentary boxes.
Oh.
Zamfidescu, I think, might not be carrying on much further. That car looks like it might have had a bit of damage. Justin Welbelove's just been called for a track cut on lap 13.
Oh,
naughty.
Oh, that was Chris Fisher. And Trev Hummer's been
there's
knocked
dramas
as well.
between Holmes
Junior's
and
going to go through.
Hummer.
Maybe not. No. He's going to definitely be under pressure now.
How many drivers at this stage of the third race have needed new Nomex by now, virtually speaking? I hate to think.
It's a good thing it is virtual racing.
Yes, there's no invoices either. But Martin
Just a lot of
has got
angry
past.
voices.
Yes, angry, raised voices with a few expletives to boot in the chat. But we are on to 30 seconds to go of race 3 out of 3 here at Donington Park National for the opening round of the Pro-Am split for the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup, brought to you in association with GoBobby.co.uk. Jari van Binsbergen has had coming together with Trev Hummer, and there is the battle for second position. Madden Grewal is coming towards Roberts as the timer is about to hit 0. It could be close. It could be that on the button, Grewal comes out of Roberts.
To pull up. There we go.
And there it is. It's going to be the checkered flag for the number 11 BMW, who takes its 3 different winners from 3 different races tonight. Martin Dagala takes second. But Nathan Birch, that is an absolutely obscene amount of points. That is 50 points he has scored over the last... Yeah, because he was third in race 2. He's third in race 3. He's done 2 races with ballast, and he was the outright race winner in race 1. That is a lead that is going to really, really help him out going into Tor Poznan in a couple of weeks' time. Justin Welbelove takes P4. Chris Callahan, best finish of his evening, P5. Steve Hilton, Stefan de Groot, Mark Holmes, Jari van Binsbergen. Trev Hummer rounds out the top 10 ahead of Alex Riley. Stu Neal. Zamfidescu rounds out the top 13 ahead of Chris Fisher. And Tejas Kapatkar, our pole sitter for race 1. But for him, the racing hasn't been all he's expected, and it's really gone down south rather quickly. Webb ends up in 17th and Douglas in 18th, with Ranjiv Kalsi and Lorenzo Molnar rounding out the 20 strong, with the latter 2 unfortunately retiring before the end of the race. But Madden Grewal in the BMW, it reigns supreme in race 3 here at Donington Park National, and that concludes the racing action for tonight. And we're hopefully going to await for our top three. So Madden Grewal, Martin Degala and Nathan Birch will hopefully have back in the interview waiting room very, very shortly indeed. But a great race there, Adam, from everybody involved, especially the top three.
Absolutely. I think great racing. And once again, Nathan obviously proving that ballast does affect you, but clearly not enough for him. But very much a case of, what do you call it? Like I say, I think he's done a great job tonight. Equally, great job from Justin to keep always within striking range of the podium and a race win as well. Most interestingly, 3 different teams, 3 different cars, 3 different winners.
Yeah, well, let's bring in our third place driver. It's 2 third places and a victory tonight that puts him on 50 points coming through after the first 3 races. Let's bring in Nathan Birch because he's done an absolutely fantastic job. Nathan, again, the victory was potentially on, but it slipped away, but you still managed to get another third place finish. And by my reckoning, you got 50 points coming out of this first race. Well done this evening. Great job.
Thank you. It's been a consistent evening, but I really underestimated how much the ballast affect things. It's all right in the first half of the race, but especially against the BMW, you just can't keep it up for a whole race. Just couldn't keep up with him.
And, going into Tor Poznan, I bet there's going to be a little bit more practicing just to be on the safe side, isn't there?
At the minute, this is my only race of the season, so I'm just sort of wildcarding in tonight, but I'll see if Toby needs anyone else to fill the grid in the next round, and if he does, I might make another appearance, but no other appearances planned yet.
Well done tonight. Just really great battling. Final question, really. Some great battling between yourself and Martin Degala. It was a great battle between the pair of you. You both were battling hard in race 2. Just well done.
Yeah, thank you. He's a really clean, quick racer to race against.
Well done tonight. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you back soon.
Cheers.
Well done. Right then.
So well done. Yeah. So let's bring in Martin Degala and Madden Grewal. Let's bring them both in at the same time and have a chat with them to close out the show. Madden Grewal, congratulations! 3rd different winner from 3 races tonight. Well done. And BMW ruled the race in race 3.
Yeah, it was a big one. I mean, 5 seconds to P2. I just don't know how to feel.
But you definitely lit up the tyres and stoked the fires in the BMW tonight. I mean, it was really, really good to see that the minute you got away from Nathan, you pulled that gap and you just did not look back, did you?
Yeah, but I think one thing that's really big is that Nathan had that 35 kilos of ballast. And I only had, 8th place's ballast?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think if Nathan didn't have that ballast, he would have won.
But still, to get a win in the first race evening of the season must be a pretty good feeling nevertheless.
Oh, it's a great feeling.
Well, Madan, very great job. And we'll hopefully see you in a couple of weeks' time for round 2 at Tor Poznan in Poland.
Yep. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Cheers. And last but by no means least, Martin Degala. Finally, you get a podium, mate. Well done. You had to battle hard for it.
Oof, thank you. I'm sweating like pig. First 2 races was a bit
that's
messy.
not the first time I think that's not the first time you've told me that when I've interviewed you before.
Yeah, but that. Well, it's an opening round in a new season, so I don't know most of the guys. So that's that. In the first 2 races, it was a learning curve to see who is who and how he race. Then in the 3rd one, with 35 kilos of ballast and starting from P7, 8, I don't know. Well, I had to give it all I had, and it paid off, seems. So very happy and what to say, looking forward to the next round. And thanks you
Master
guys who were commentating and broadcasting these races. And yeah, that's it from now. Hope you enjoyed.
We did
We
indeed.
definitely didn't. We did indeed, Martin. Well done tonight. Get yourself
Thanks.
a cold drink.
Oh,
You
and the
definitely-
shower.
maybe a couple of, and a shower as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Martin Lagarde,
Thank
our
you.
runner-up in race 2.
Yeah, see ya.
See ya. Well,
That really concludes things, doesn't it, Adam?
It does
It's been a
indeed.
great evening, isn't it?
yeah, it's been brilliant. Great to see everybody fighting between each other. I feel like the season is getting properly underway. Obviously 2 weeks time we're at Tor Poznan. Not really a favourite circuit of mine, but I know it's good for racing, so hopefully we'll see some good racing again.
Indeed. Well, on behalf of Adam Bent and myself, Alex Goldschmidt, thank you very much for tuning in for the opening round of the Pro-Am class of the Simsport Racing Virtual Touring Car Cup Season 4, brought to you in association with gobobby.co.uk. Don't forget to follow everything Simsport Racing. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also head to our official website. The next round, Tor Poznan in Poland on the 26th of September. Put that in your diaries, folks. You don't want to miss it. Good night. Thanks for watching.